All right, guys, we're going to get started here. So excited. Do we get to have Heather, who is our director of relocation, is going to be.
Oh no, Russ just froze. Well, Russ just froze. Can you guys hear me? Show of hands or maybe unmute yourself and say yay. Okay, thank you, Kelly.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'll just introduce myself since Russ got frozen. I don't know what happened to him. But anyway, I'm Heather Barker, and I'm the relocation director here at Everest over California and Utah. So thank you for being on the call today. I'm really excited to talk about relocation. I think Russ would say to put your name in the chat box. So make sure, I mean, I see most of you, there's a couple iPhones, so I don't know. So just make sure that you sign in, so you get credit for this class. And this is a small group usually, so I invite you to ask questions along the way. I'm going to share my screen here in a minute. Russ, are you back?
I'm back. Sorry, but last thing I heard you say was you're going to introduce yourself. So I'm guessing you did. So sorry about that.
Do they need to sign in or do anything for you?
Yeah, if you guys will just all put your first and last name in the chat box, which looks like a bunch of people already were, then I'll know they were there. So awesome.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Thanks,
so
Heather.
You bet. So because this is a small group, just during the during this class, and usually, we're scheduled for 2 hours. It's usually an hour and a half, just so you can plan on that. But depending on how many questions you ask, but just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask a question if you have one. During the program, if it gets, there's a ton of questions or something, then we will do it a different way. But I think it's the easiest way to do it. So I don't see very many videos up here before I share my screen. So I think you can raise your hand in the chat box. Yeah, there's the chat box. So who knows what relocation is? Andy, I see you on there. Andy knows what relocation is. Anyone, like, what do I mean by relocation? Anyone want to take a gander? No? Okay. So what we're going to do today.
Somebody that's relocating from one state to another state and needs help finding a home. Sometimes they work with their companies. They will work with the relocation department of their companies.
Yeah, great. Okay, that's a really that's a great one. So
it could also be from town to town or even somewhere else in the world, not just state to state.
Yeah, good. Okay. Yep. I mean, it's kind of it's a all-encompassing word, right? And I mean, everyone's relocating when they're selling a house or buying a different house. It doesn't matter where. So what we're going to talk about today is what the function is of this department and give you an idea of the scope of the relocation business and industry and how you can implement it into your business. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, I think this is the right one. Can you guys see that? Is it the full screen? Kelly, nod your head. Yeah. Okay. All right. You seeing it move? Okay. Cool. All right. So here's kind of our agenda. The overview of the department. What do we do? What's the function of it within Century 21 Everest? Who does what within the department? And then we're going to go over referral basics on incoming business, outgoing business, and interoffice business. And then we're going to cover services for all company agents. And this is in addition to just like transactional business. So I'm Heather Barker, Director of Relocation. And then I also handle the broker to broker leads. And we'll discuss the definitions of all of these titles so that you have a greater understanding of them. Debbie Thompson, she's currently working from home. She's our Senior Account Manager. She handles Cartas and other third-party relocation business. She's also the Affinity Specialist. We have Alicia Causey. She works from home also. She is a Senior Account Manager, and she manages the LDS, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints account. Melanie Lockhart is also a Corporate Account Manager who also works on the church account. And then Monica, I refuse to ever pronounce her name. I always get it wrong. She's our relocation transaction coordinator. So when something closes, she puts it in our systems and gets everything ironed out. So that's kind of the team right now. That makes up the relocation department. So some of the definitions. So what is an outgoing broker to broker referral? So this I'd always define as a buyer or seller with a real estate need outside your normal market area. So it can be within your state, but if you don't cover, you know, LA County, you know, the whole county, you just cover a portion of it or something, then if it's outside your market area, that would be an outgoing referral if you want to refer them to another agent to handle that business for you, okay? Or if they're moving to Idaho, for instance, you know, that would be an outgoing referral as well. Inter-office broker-to-broker referral would be a buyer or seller outside your coverage area that may be serviced by another agent within the Century 21 Everest family. So let's say you don't cover LA, but there's one agent in our company that does, then, you know, we would call that an inter-office referral. Or if you have someone moving to St. George, we would assign that to an agent in our St. George office. And that would be an in-company referral called inter-office, okay? Incoming broker-to-broker referral. That's when another company, another real estate company sends a referral to our company. So instead of us sending it to them, they're sending it to us. So that makes sense, incoming broker to broker. And then third party corporate referrals, that is what's, I don't remember who made the comment, but when a company is relocating a person for a job and that company has hired a relocation management company to assist with that move, that is what we're talking about, third party corporate referral, all right? All right, affinity business referrals. So I told you Debbie is our affinity account manager. These are relationships that include an agreement between companies to provide real estate services with benefits to employees or members. So when we're talking about employees or members, one of the companies that we have a relationship with is Navy Federal Credit Union. So their members have the opportunity to work with a real estate agent and get some benefits from that relationship. All right. So when two companies come together and make a relationship together that is mutually beneficial to those companies, that's an affinity relationship. All right. And in our business, in the relocation business, that applies to real estate transactions. And so if there's a real estate benefit through that company that they either work for or are a member of, then they can take advantage of those benefits if they so choose. These often will include a cash credit from the agent at closing and or additional add-on services and discounts. And we'll talk about this a little bit later, some of the affinity relationships that Century 21 has with other companies that you can utilize and that will benefit your clients if you choose to use them and make them aware of them. All right. Affinity business may be incoming or outgoing. It's a national opportunity. If we create an affinity relationship with a company internally, like within the company, then we can place those in our offices or we can place them outside our office, okay? It's national. There are like 8 states that don't allow it, that don't allow a cashback benefit, but there's other things you can do in those states. All right, so agent-generated referral business. So this is business that you generate or register with the relocation department. This would apply to like third-party corporate clients relocating with their company. Let's say you're working with someone and they tell you that they're being relocated with their company and they're working with a relocation management company. We're going to talk about that, but that would be you calling us and registering them, and we just put it in our system so we don't assign it to someone else if it comes in, okay? Military members, and we're going to talk more about this stuff. I know I'm covering it really fast, but we'll go into the greater detail. Let's say you have a military member or a member of another program and they start talking about they have this program that they can be part of. You can register them with the department and you can still work with them and make sure that they get their benefits even if you're not a member of the team, the relocation team, okay? Other affinity business you desire to develop in partnership with the relocation department. So there are opportunities for you, and we'll talk in detail about this a little bit later. There's a whole separate class that we can do around this to train you who to talk to, what to say, those sorts of things if you have a relationship that you feel this would be applicable to. So when we cover that, I'm sure you might have questions about that. So what's the function of the department? We have 2 main functions. We are both a profit center for the company and we are an agent service center. So under the profit center, this is all incoming referral business. So that's the third party business, the broker to broker business, call-in leads, web leads, inter-office referrals, and other business development. And under the agent services center, it's of course the outgoing broker to broker referral placements and follow-ups, inter-office referrals, the listing advantage, which we'll talk about, guidance and education on how to manage a relocation transaction when you get one, and community information for your clients. Also business development partnerships with you, in partnership with you, and the Everest Moves Concierge Program. So we're going to talk about all of this. I should say, any major questions so far? I know we're going to cover this in greater detail, so if there's any questions, like I said, just unmute and ask. All right, so our going places. We have a booklet that we can send out after this class to you. It's the broker to broker. Well, it kind of covers all these services actually, and we took pieces of that and put it in these slides. So I'll send out the booklet as soon as we're done here to Russ, and he can get it out to you. But this is something you should be presenting to all people you talk to. If you're not, you're missing opportunities. We can help you as an agent, can help your clients anywhere in the United States. And we even have a global platform that we've started working with. We had our first closing in Belize, and that we're just now working out the payment situation. So it's kind of exciting. So I would encourage you to, it doesn't matter where it is, call us and we'll see if we can place it. We don't cover everywhere in the world yet, but there is a good chance that we can help you out. So we just try to set correct expectations. That takes a long time to place. It takes more time to follow up. Payment's going to take a long time, that sort of thing. But in general, if it's in the United States or Canada, it's pretty simple for us to place those for you. And we have a whole network that we use. And what are the benefits to you and to your clients? These are kind of the talking points for your clients. We make sure that they're going to get an experienced and qualified real estate agent. So people that are on a relocation team within the network that we work in, they are required to have a 2-year minimum experience. They're full-time, they're not part-time agents, and they need to be certified and trained as a relocation expert. There are requirements that we have 2 trainings per year if you're on the relocation team, and that's all focused around service, conversion, presentations. It's a very detailed experience and takes a lot of time. And so these agents that are in this network that we're part of are going to be experts. And so you can sell that as a benefit to your clients when you're talking about referral business. We have first-class broker networks. There's just in the Century 21 brand, there's over 2,400 Century 21 broker partners nationwide. But we also work with the Cardis Broker Network, which has now been renamed the Relogy Network. And that's comprised of 3,500 Relogy brokerages. So when you're talking to people about getting them set up with an expert, an agent in a different market, I would never say it's going to be a Century 21 company that's going to call them. I would tell them that we're part of the Relogy Network. That is going to be Coldwell Banker, Sotheby's, Century 21, ERA. Who am I forgetting? Anyway, there's about 5 different brokerages that it could be that we have call. If we have a choice for a Century 21 broker, then we oftentimes will, choose them for that opportunity. Service satisfaction guaranteed. So we talk about this because we're not satisfied until your client is satisfied. And in this network, I have one right now that we're working with. The client is unhappy. And so we reach out to that company and we say, look, we need to change agents. Sometimes that client wants to work with a different company. They're like, no, I'm so unhappy, I want to work with a different company. So we will just ask them to release the referral. That's a powerful position for your clients, because if they have a buyer broker signed with a company that's within this network, and then they want out of it, then because of our agreements within the network, we can move that pretty easily. So we always try to resolve things first. If we can't do that, we'll often try to just place it with a different agent within that brokerage. If the client doesn't want that, then we will just get it released and move it. And we always hope that it's going to be, the first time is going to be the golden time and they're going to love the agent. And a lot of times that happens, but every once in a while there's an experience that isn't going well. And so we need to make an adjustment. So that is a good talking point for your clients, that they don't have to fear that they're going to get stuck with someone they don't want to work with. Okay. So here's the slide about the broker network. So this is the Relogy Broker Network. And so it's Century 21, Coldwell Banker, ERA, NRT, which is another Coldwell Banker, And then Better Homes and Gardens was one I forgot, and Sotheby's. So oftentimes it's going to be one of those that is going to be assigned. If there's not coverage within that network, we go to these other networks. So the Century 21 Broker Network, which we talked about, and the American Relocation Alliance. I'm the president of that organization. And it's only Century 21 brand partners with a full service relocation department that can be part of this organization. And we go there because I've created relationships with those directors and they want to make us happy, right? When you have relationships with these partners, it's always a really good opportunity. In fact, if I'm going to the Century 21 network, I always look there first and then I'll branch out. And then we have the Relocation Directors Council. And this is a national organization that includes all brands, including leading real estate companies of the world. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that term. That is where, you know, if it's not a big brand organization, they can join that. And we're part of that. We still have access to those leading real estate companies within, you know, the national marketplace. So I don't know if that's confusing or if that's like, okay, great, we have a lot of network options. And if all else fails, then we do research on the area to see who has market share, and we will work with someone that looks like they have good market share in the market area. And this is usually in those rural markets where there's just not a lot, you know, not a lot of activity, which we get a lot of rural referrals. And that's when we will place it outside of all of these organizations. But we can always, you know, I have people, can you find someone in Tennessee? Yes, I can find someone anywhere. So never feel like you can't place a referral with us. We will do our best to help anyone, anywhere. All right. So, and another note on those, on the outgoing referral, like how long would it take you to do that research and find a person? You know, I'm sure you have your own networks too, but just know that these are all in place to create a seamless situation for your client and for you, so that you're not spending your time trying to figure out the outgoing stuff that's already in place for you. So hopefully you'll use that service. And if you're not asking everyone you talk to if they have a need outside this market area, and they say, well, what do you mean? I can help you anywhere. We have resources anywhere in the United States. Then you're missing opportunities, okay? All right, additional services. So we have lender assistance available nationwide. When someone's looking to purchase in another market, we ask if they need a lender. And if they are in one of the 36 states that works with within the Panorama family, which is where is the umbrella over Inspiro Financial. So our partners Inspiro Financial in California and in Utah, we go through them and get that set up as a resource as well when the client's interested. If they're not interested, of course, we won't do that. National community information. So we offer complimentary guides online for cities nationwide, which provide information on schools, demographics, recreation, communities, and more. And I can show you where to find that. Probably gonna have to unshare my screen and reshare it. Is that right? Let me find it. So it's on our website. And if you haven't been on our website, you should get on it. And I'm going to unshare the screen real quick just to show you where to find it. Where is it? There we go. Okay, I'm going to reshare and pick. There it is. Okay, so this is our website, right? And I am going to go to this little bar over here, our services, relocation, and it pops up this interesting little guide here. And I need them to move this because it's cleared out of the bottom, but you can find it here, and it is community info. So we go to community info, and I have slides to show this, but I'd rather just show you. There's a map of the United States here. All right. So if you have someone relocating to Texas, we send them a link to this map, and they can click on Texas, and they can pick the area that's closest to the one they're moving to. And it will pull up this community information sheet. So then they can go into culture and recreation, and there's all these attractions, shopping, sports and recreation. And what they do on this site is they update all of these links I mean, these links update themselves, I should say. So as those links update, they're already updated in here. So under the welcome home profile, it talks about demographics, tax and licensing, transportation, healthcare, academics. Under the community profile, it goes by communities. Sometimes it looks like it's by county here, and they can go in and, you know, look for more information. All right. So if you didn't know that was available, please know that that's available for you to use. You can just send the link to your client from the site. But if it's an outgoing referral and we're in charge of it, then we will send them the link so that they can take a look at it if they're interested. All right. So hopefully that's helpful. So I'm going to go back to stop share and reshare.
Heather?
Yes.
So I understand someone moving out of state or something like that, but your suggestion is just to mention this kind of to everybody. If you have out of state needs, meaning if they're buying a vacation home somewhere, or if they they want to buy rental property, you know, cash flow rental property in Arkansas or something that where they don't have California prices.
Right.
Is this what you're suggesting?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So Kelly, you can help them anywhere. All right. So it's just important that you think bigger along those lines so that you can then inspire them to think bigger as well. And then you can be their real estate agent and you can support them on these referrals. When we place them, you can get as involved or stay as uninvolved as you want. My recommendation is always that these agents should be trained now, because it's changed over the last couple of years, where they should call you and introduce themselves to you and let you know, hey, I've talked to the client, you know, and then you can choose to stay in touch with them or ask them to stay in touch with you. You'll get updates from us as we get them, but the more conversations you have with them, the stronger that lead is and the stronger opportunity it is for it to close. All right. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about, and we'll talk more about this at the end, the door-to-door concierge service. So we have a resource for you now called Everest Moves, and it's powered by Move Easy. It's a company that does this concierge service, and we'll go into great detail about that. And it's something that can be a really great resource, but you need to know about it, and you need to tell your client about it. So it'll go out automatically for you. You can stop the service, you can send it on your own, you have total control over it. It's a really great service and resource for you. And so you'll learn more about that. It's towards the end. And that is also national. So we can offer that to outgoing referrals, and we do. National partnerships and discounts. So this is what I'm talking about as an affinity relationship with Century 21. So these are some of the companies that Century 21 has an agreement with. That, you know, Lowe's will send out a 10% off your next purchase at Lowe's for anyone that buys or sells with Century 21. That's an affinity relationship, okay? Everest Moves, we just talked about that. Century 21 Home Protection Plan. Budget, there's a discount on budget rentals, and pods. They get a 10% discount on pods if they're interested in using that. Everest Moves has a moving program within it. It's not necessarily discounted, but it is a service where they can provide 3 bids to somebody and work with them on scheduling movers. So that's covered under here. But Pods is kind of a great resource for people that are really looking to save some cash, you know, on their move, but also have an easier time than renting a budget, you know, truck, that sort of thing. So I'm going to show you, I hope this is not annoying that I'm stopping and stop sharing and stuff. But I am going to go back into here. I just want to make sure you all know how to find. So who has gotten on 21 online? I'm just going to rely on Kelly to raise how many times since he's the only video I see right now.
I have,
Right.
Heather.
Who is that?
Matt Savage.
Matt. Oh, hi, Matt. All right. So I'm going to share the screen again, and I'm going to go into 21 online. All right. Sign in real quick. Sorry, I should have done this beforehand. So you go into 21 online, and have you taken a look at your business benefits that are available to you as an agent? Kelly, have you done that?
I
I haven't.
think
No.
so. I know I've been on there a good bit, although it is somewhat overwhelming because there's so much.
Oops. Okay, that was not working, so I'm just going to do real quick. Oops. Ah, dang it. 21 online. Okay. Sign in. Hopefully it will just pop me in here. So as it's loading, if you just type in the search benefits, all right, it will say benefits for your client, benefits for you, okay? And so there are benefits in there for discount on your phone. So like if you're with Verizon or you're with Sprint, I think there's a couple different ones in there. You can maybe get a discount on your bill. So that is an affinity relationship that they have, the Sprint and AT&T or whoever's on there, that they have with Century 21, and that creates a benefit for them because you're a client, and a benefit for Century 21 because they can offer you a discount as an agent with their company. So see how that relationship works, how that's an affinity relationship, and it's not letting me in, so there must be something going on here. But just try that, go into 21 online, 21 online, and get familiar with what the benefits are for your clients, because you can give them, there's a flyer that you can give them that shows the benefits that are available to them for working with you. And why is this? Oh, here we go. All right. It'll show them these benefits and how to take advantage of them. It will, call this number, give this code, whatever the process is will be on that flyer. And it's just a good thing to give them and let them know that you can help provide these services to them. So hopefully you'll find some benefit in that. There's also like vacation certificates. There's, for you guys, there's all kinds of different things. And if you haven't taken a look at it, then you should. Oops. Okay. I don't know why it wasn't. Okay, there we go. All right. So how do you place an outgoing referral? So the first thing is just 3 steps for you. Get permission to refer the client. Gather the information. The minimum I need when I place this is a client name and a phone number. I prefer to have an email and address, their current address, and where they're moving to and what they're looking for. It's just really help. The more information you provide me, the better. But if worst comes to worst, if you just send me a client name and phone number, I will call them and get the information. And typically I will call them and I will say, hey, I'm Heather Barker, Relocation Director at Century 21 Everest. I work with Kelly and he asked me to reach out to you. We're gonna get you set up with a great agent in Tennessee. And I'm just calling you a little bit more information on what you're looking for, what your timeline looks like, that sort of thing. So I always introduce myself as your team member, your teammate, that we work together and that we're working on this together. And then I let them know, my role in the process is really to make sure you're happy with your agent that's assigned. If there's any issues at all, you can reach out to Kelly or to me and we'll make adjustments where necessary. So that's basically what I'm doing when I call these clients and how I'm representing you and Century 21 and myself in a relationship, okay? This is an old slide. It says send the information to Karen Perry. Karen is no longer with us, so you'll send it to me and I'll make sure that you have my information. We'll get it out to you, make sure you have it. So, or you can get online and look me up. I'm just right in there. And then that's it, you're done. You can just let it go or you can stay involved. So it's totally up to you, however you want to do it. This is what the follow-up looks like. So the assigned agent information will be sent to the referring agent. It says within 24 hours, it's 24 and 48 hours, just because we're a little shorthanded right now. So just know that once we get the information, we upload it into our system and you will get an email that says, hey, here's the assigned agent information. And if you haven't heard from them already, because typically you'll hear from them before you get this, then you can call them and talk to them if you'd like. And then the initial contact it should be reported back to us within 24 hours of placement. And that will also be sent to the referring agent. So if you've placed a referral, you will know whether initial contact has been made or not. The update report will be sent to the referring agent within 2 weeks. We ask for a 2-week update. And then every 30 days, we get regular updates from the companies within the network. That's typically what it looks like. If I see an update that says, We're looking for good quality updates, and sometimes we get ones that are same as last month, so you have to go back and research it. So we're trying to encourage better updates from agents. Sometimes they'll call the agent directly and say, when was the last time you talked to them, that sort of thing. Because if someone's not moving for a year, you kind of put them on drip campaigns and things like that. But we'll know within that first 30 days how viable the lead is usually, and you will be informed. And then if they can't reach them, they can't contact them, they're not getting in touch with us, I'll send you a note that just says, hey, you might want to call the client and see if they're still interested in moving forward. All right. Okay, so what's in it for you? We know what's in it for your client. We know what the service looks like. So what is in it for you? So we will save you time looking for that agent outside your market. We already have the resources. We don't have to go out and search for them. They're there in place, ready to go. And if we do have to search for them, we've done it for long enough. I've been in the business for 20 years. I keep saying that. It must be 25 by now, I swear. But anyway, we have been doing it long enough that you don't have to learn how to do my job. Let me do my job, you do your job, okay? You can earn some extra money without much effort. You enhance the service you provide your clients. You have a full service capacity behind you. You have a department that's very experienced, that's ready to go to serve your clients. You gain future business opportunities with repeat customers. Hopefully you get more referrals from these referrals, and it allows you to focus on your local business that really should be your focus, is your local business, so that you can make money doing your job. And then we ensure you get paid once the property closes. So within this network that we work in, the Relogy network, they actually guarantee payment. So this looks like if someone leaves the company, or, it just very rarely happens where there's an issue, but if there's any kind of issue around that, then the Relogy network will guarantee payment for you guys. We follow up through referring agents so you don't have to, so that's more time that you save. And then of course our network is really, really powerful. What's the payout on a referral? So the referring agent will be paid 21% of the function commission minus the marketing or franchise fee. And you get 100%, doesn't matter what split you're on, you'll get 100% of what we get minus the franchise fee. So the average referral fee received by agents in 2019 was $2,000. And those do count toward agents' gross commission and awards, et cetera. So you do get credit for those as well. So there's an example breakdown here. On a $400,000 sales price with a 3% function commission, 21% referral fee is $2,520. And we just take the franchise fee off of that and you get the rest. So any questions about that? Pretty clear. So scripting. So really the question you want to memorize is, do you have a real estate need outside of this marketplace? Do you, or anyone that however you normally ask to do, you or anyone however property to buy, have a real estate need. So I would think that would often generate in a question like, yes, or like, what do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean? So you need to have kind of an idea of what you're going to say. But these are just some talking points we put together. Century 21 offers a world-class relocation service. We assist people who need to move to another city, state, or even out of the country. We can help relieve the stress of finding a qualified real estate professional or work with you, your family and friends. Isn't that great? Now, who do you know that may be moving in the next 6 months? So, and really the message, the real message is, even if they say, what do you mean? I can be a real estate expert anywhere. And if you have a need outside this marketplace, I can be part of that transaction to make sure it's going smoothly. You can help them anywhere. So just get an idea of what messages you want to portray, but just make sure you're asking the question. If you don't ask the question, you're not going to get any referrals, right? So if you're not talking to people, you're not going to get deals, right? So it's just one more thing to add to your arsenal of services. Social media posts. We've been trying to put these out at least one a quarter for you to use on your social media. So my favorite one is this: the world is 70% water. Your Century 21 Everest agent can help you everywhere else. I think it's really cute. You can use it anytime. It's there for you. I love referrals. So we do theming things around certain holidays. And we will send that to, it usually goes out. We put it on social media as well, under the company, but you guys can use it on your personal pages. All right, this is the current one. It says need a new view from your home office, because what's everybody doing right now? They're working from home, you know? So we created this one kind of in the honor of COVID, and that's the current one that's going out. So we'll make sure you have that. Your manager should have it. It's, you know, it's just a fun one. All right, and then there's this flyer that you can use. I would suggest this if once, you know, if you're doing open houses, 'cause I know some people have started doing open houses, at least here in Utah. They've opened it back up. I don't know what the status is in California for that, but we have this form that you can print to put at your open house. It's a complimentary referral service. It talks about how you can help them anywhere in the United States and several international locations, and you can put them in touch with a real estate agent. This flyer is a fun flyer that you can put your picture on. I mean, that agent's handsome, but Rick the realtor, but you can put your picture there and your information, and you can use that flyer, you know, and I would say this would be a good flyer to put in your listing packet or your buyer pack, you know, not your buyer package, you'll be knowing where they're going to buy with you, but in a listing packet, you know, if they're going somewhere, it's a good opportunity to just talk about it. Interoffice referrals. So this is kind of the coverage area. Utah, we actually cover that whole central part of the state. So Duchesne and Uinta, we also cover those markets now. And you know, the goal would be to like get the whole state covered, right? But we definitely have the southern Utah market of you know, Iron County, which would be like Cedar City, down to St. George, and then the central part of the state, all the way up to Cache County, which is just on the border of Idaho, right there. If you have a referral in Utah, we're always going to try to place it with an agent within the organization. And likewise in California, if it's within our market coverage area, we're always going to try to keep it in-house and family, right? We have a lot more control over that. And we want you guys to have relationships that you're building with each other in cross markets. It's just good practice, I think. The difference on inter-office referrals is that we are able to collect a 25% referral fee. And so you get paid the same way. We just take the franchise fee off the top, and then you get the rest of it, whatever that amount is. And then here's our Los Angeles Ventura market coverage areas. We don't cover all of Los Angeles. That's not quite right, but. So any questions about outgoing or inter-office stuff? It's a quiet day. I just feel like I'm just, you know, blathering, but if you have any questions, let me know. Oops. Okay, so we're going to talk about third-party business. This is what we would call, so these are, this is business that comes from other companies into our company. This is just some of the third-party relocation management companies that are out there and different programs that we participate with. I need to take that one off, but we do a lot with Cardis. We do a lot with Altair, Caprelo, Cornerstone. NEI is one of my favorite companies to work with. They're so easy to work with. Errors is one of my favorites. So these are companies that have employees relocating within their organization. We're always looking to build on this. So I really should talk here. I know I have it in a later slide. But this would be, you know, if you're working with someone and you're trying to set up a listing appointment, or it's someone you know and they're like, oh, Kelly, I'd really like to work with you, but I have to work with our relocation company on an agent. Then your answer is going to be, oh, great. We have a full service relocation department where we work with all different third-party relocation management companies. I can still help you. All right. Even if you're not on the team, even if you have no experience or no idea what's involved with a relocation transaction, we are here to support you and to train you in that transaction. You don't have to worry about that. We will like walk you through every form, every process, the contract, you know, everything that you need to know. So don't hesitate to say, oh, great, congratulations on your job, you know, your new job. Our company, we have a full service relocation department. I can totally still help you. And all they really need to do is request you as their agent with that company. And then it will come, usually it will come through us. Sometimes it will come to you directly. That's okay too. You still want to call us and get us involved so that we can help you through that transaction. that we don't mess with your splits or anything on that. You pay the referral fee that's due, and then you're on your normal split. Okay, so don't hesitate to use us. So the listing advantage. So we work with, like you saw all those companies that we work with. And so do you think it would be an advantage to list your home with a company that has access to buyers who are being relocated by a third-party relocation management company into your market area? Would that be something that was interesting to a seller to know that we received those leads? And Cardis is the largest relocation management company in the world, and that's who we work with. There's not every broker is a broker for them. You have to be a Realogy brokerage. And, so the more you learn about this, about relocation and how robust our department is, then the more you can sell it when you're out on your listing presentations. Oftentimes when I talk about this, I'm just going to cover this right now because oftentimes they'll be like, well, how many closings do we have? Like, people want numbers, and we don't provide numbers. We just provide a broad, understanding of that relationship. So if you, for instance, in California, oh dear, I've lost the name. There's a company that does a lot of relocation out there. And so if you have a house near that area, then it would be beneficial for you to know. So if you are working on a listing, you can call us and we can have a conversation with you and talk about how you can use that to your advantage. All right, so this is where I talk about this, I guess. It's right after that. So yeah, I have to use the relocation agent that is assigned by a relocation company. Great, we have a full service relocation department. We can work with any relocation company. Then always, if you feel like it's a possibility, always make sure that you email me or Debbie and register them with us so that if we see a work order, usually if they request you as an agent, it will come in with your name on it. But if it doesn't, then we would just do normal placement process, which is to place it with the relocation team. So make sure you call us and just let us know so we have a heads up. So you get a pre-marketing work order. So pre-marketing is a term that you would learn. Pre-marketing is a corporate referral of a seller of a listing, and it is before it's going to go into inventory. So if they are offered a buyout, for instance, if we can't sell their house, which in these markets, we pretty much sell everything within 120 days, which is the requirement. So it doesn't go into inventory status where the company buys the house and moves the employee out. Because their goal is to get the employee to their new location as quickly as possible with as least, the least expense possible. But speed typically is a factor. And that's a pre-marketing work order. So you receive one of those from a third-party relocation management company. You're going to be asked to do a broker's market analysis report on a specific form. You're going to be told that sometimes, it depends on what kind of policy they have, they might not be able to sign an offer, for instance, on their home. If an offer comes in, it might be the company that has to sign that. And that's really important to know. So we will walk you through that process and why there's that process. It's a tax benefit for the company and for the client. So there's a whole class on that too. We could do a whole class on relocation and why it's done the way it is. And explanation of forms and requirements. So there will always be a standard addendum that's with it. They're going to require you to use a certain title company. They're going to make sure, that their processes are followed to a T. And it's really important that they are, A, because there are a lot of benefits attached to the process, but, and B, because, those title company already has the corporate tax. They already have the process down. You're not going to have to, so there's lots of benefits behind the scenes going on that matter, and why it makes it important that you follow the procedures and make it as smooth for that transferee as possible. Okay, we're going to get into some fun stuff now. So the affinity benefit program and partnerships. So these, we already kind of explained what those partnerships are. We know that we have them within the Century 21 brand, but benefits for you and for your clients. So how does that translate into your business? So our existing partnerships right now include Relogy military rewards. So if someone is part of the military, any of the military families, then they can actually be enrolled into this program and take advantage of it. Navy Federal Realty Plus program. So you got in California has some Navy Federal credit unions in the marketplace. So that's a real good, this is one to know about. Just as you're out there competing for listings, competing for business, it's nice to know about these programs. AARP just put together a benefit program within the Realogy brands, and they're starting to market. It's just going to market. So we're going to start seeing more people enroll themselves into these programs. But it's good for you to have the knowledge. If it comes up and you know you've talked about it, oh, I know there's a benefit program around that, then you know knowledge is power, and you can address it correctly with that person that's asking about it. The LDS Church employee has an Everest Moves program. So we put together an affinity program that we offer to employees of the church, not members of the church, but employees of the church who can take advantage of that program. And it's listed just like we have an intranet site that shows us where our benefits are. They have one for their company that shows them what benefits are available to them, discounts and benefits. And so companies have to be approved to be on that site, and we were approved to be on that site because we also work with their relocation transferees on a national basis as well. So what does that mean for you? Well, we're going to talk about some of these programs because you can, you can do an agent-generated referral through the Realogy Military Rewards Program and these other couple programs, and you don't need to be part of the relocation team to offer this benefit. So do you know a person who served in the military? Are you competing for a listing? Do you know an AARP member or a Navy Federal Credit Union member? It can give you a competitive edge if you choose to use it. It is a total choice, up to you. It's a unique service not every brokerage can offer. So with the AARP status or benefit, Navy Federal Credit Union, and Realogy Military Rewards, you have to be part of the Realogy network in order to offer these benefits through these companies. So you do have the edge over like a Remax or a Keller Williams or someone that's not part of that Realogy brand, okay? And even within that brand, only certain companies are authorized to offer these programs as well. So, so if you know who you're competing with, just you can call me and ask. But if you decide to use this, it is going to require a 25% referral fee. And where does that referral fee go? So that referral fee goes to the network, and it pays the benefit that the employee or that the member is qualified to receive, and it pays for the administration of those benefits, okay, and the program. So that is what it will cost you if you do agent-generated referral business. So this is the reward schedule from Realogy Military Rewards. So it's based on purchase price, on the cashback bonus that they get. And the cashback bonus is typically paid after closing to the member directly. Navy Federal Credit Union, I don't think I have the full cash payout on here, but it's very similar. But they also get a cashback benefit. So what this does, so Navy Federal, why it benefits Navy Federal is because they want to keep that mortgage, right? So they want to keep that mortgage. And so they'll refer it to an agent within the program. And we know, hey, we're going to assume you're going to use Navy Federal Credit Union for your mortgage. We're not going to be like, oh, and I have a lender that, blah, blah, blah. So it's just, that is a benefit to them because we know if it's coming through Navy Federal, they're going to be using Navy Federal. If you register them for the program, you can definitely hook them up with Navy Federal Credit Union or whoever they're working with, but they would still get that benefit at closing. It's not, the one is not tied to the other necessarily. So keep that in mind as well. AARP, like I said, this is a brand new program. And I think, these affinity programs take a while to get going with marketing and things like that, and to get traction. But I think that this is going to take off, and I think it's going to be pretty big. So it's good to be aware of it. If you start AARP real estate benefits from Realogy. If that comes up in a conversation, just know that you can register them, and it's a lot better if you register them unless, rather than it coming through the system. When it comes through the system and you're a requested agent on it, it's a 40% referral fee. Okay. And we can do our best to fight that and try to turn it into an agent generated referral. So you only have to pay the 25%. But if someone's talking about it, they're interested, and there's the danger of them registering themselves. So just keep that in mind as well. But this is a benefit you can use as you're out there in the marketplace. to give you a competitive edge if you choose to. So just be aware of it and know that it's there. There are marketing materials and things that you can use. If you are interested in it, let me know. All right. I think I pretty much covered this as we talked about it, so I'm not going to go through that. The affinity of business development partnerships. So let's say you are, you've been a real estate agent for 3 months or 6 months or whatever it is, and you came from a corporate world, and there was a company that you worked with that has an intranet. They had business benefits page, and the human resource contact for business benefits. Wouldn't it be great for you to offer those employees a affinity relationship and give them the opportunity to work with you and receive, we can do it without a cashback benefit, but if you want to offer a cashback benefit, then we can. And otherwise it would be a concierge service, that sort of thing. So what would happen on that is you would set up the appointment, and what would Relo do for you? We'd partner with you on presenting the program to your potential partner. We work on transaction and report tracking. It's a national coverage area. So if it's a company that has, offices in 3 states, they cover the nation, or they're just in your local market, it doesn't matter. It is a national program, and 30% of company dollar, on a national placement, if it's outside this marketplace, whatever the company receives as dollars on that transaction, you get 30% of that. So you can see if we do it right and we put it out there, and it really depends how willing that company is to market that new program to their employees or their members as to how successful the program is going to be. Because if people don't know about it, then they're not going to use it. So it's a little tricky. Like, those programs are a little tricky because you got to get the word out. And so that's the biggest thing we want to discuss with those companies when we meet with them is, what can we do to get the word out to your members, to your membership, or to your employees, and make sure that that's part of the initial conversations. But it's kind of a fun idea if you have that sort of relationship, or if you're out there talking to someone that is, on a C-level in a company, and you're working with them, you have a really good relationship with them. Ask about this. Do you guys have a business benefits page on your company website for your employees? And if they are saying, yeah, we do, then, is there any way you can hook me up with whoever's on that? And I can find out what the process is for being able to offer services on that website. I mean, it's just an easy conversation to have, and then getting hooked up with the right person that's in charge of that process. And that's all you need. And once you have an appointment with that, we will get involved. We have a presentation that will be customized to that company, and you will be the main agent for any business that's in your market area. Anything that's not in your market area, it goes outgoing. So I don't know. If you have more questions about that, like I said, we can put together a time to do a class on that. And it just talks about affinity business. So I guess I just talked about this. Who do you know? Human resource contacts. I apologize. That says Utah. It can be both states. Recruiters would be a good one. A C-level leader of a company, and then just always keep in mind opportunities and partnerships that are national, not just local. So think beyond your local market is what I'm telling you. If nothing else, if you get nothing else from this presentation at all, think bigger than your local market. Know that you have options outside this marketplace to make a difference for people. All right, so we're, this is really exciting stuff, I know. So rental finding team. We do provide rental tours for clients moving to the area. There is payment on it. We work with a company called Court, and they're the lowest paying company at $300. And that's for a full day tour. That requires that's like obligating you to like a 6-hour window where you will schedule and show properties, assist with the lease agreement, and then report to the corporate client the results of the tour. And then during that time you're with that person, or you're working with that person, you're educating them on how to do more searches on their own if it's needed. So you can see what a great service this would be to someone who's moving to an area and they're not comfortable buying yet. They would like to rent first so they can learn the market area. Now, some of them might come in and be like, oh, it's going to cost me as much to rent as it is to purchase in this market, so I might as well purchase. That does happen. And that's one of the reasons we do offer this. But more than anything, what happens if you offer a good service to a renter, and we have free rental finding services that we'll talk about next that you can have access to as well. They're all being rebuilt still. It's been like a year after trying to get those done, but they are, they have just like, this is what you need in order to secure a rental. We suggest you have a rental resume. If you have pets, have a pet resume. So you just give them kind of the tools that they need to, it's like teaching someone how to fish, right? You teach them how to fish, you don't have to do all the work. So that's what we're asking you to do on those days. Then you add the client to your sphere of influence because they're thinking they're going to rent for a year. And so you just put them in this drip campaign and you call them on a quarterly basis like you do your other SOI. And then hopefully eventually they purchase with you, and that's your transaction, that's your deal, okay? So if anyone in the company can be a rental area tour team member. So if that's something that you want to be part of, we get a lot of rental opportunities in California. They just seem to come in like crazy. So there's a market for it there. If you're interested in receiving those leads, just to have a conversation with people, I mean, you're welcome to be part of that, and I can get you set up for that. So if you're interested, let me know. And then the free rental finding services are also on our website, 21everest.com. And under the relocation services tab, so it's the same area where you found the community information. There's this information. So it's called Rent Smart, and you can see it still has our old logo on it. But it is just gives them helpful tips. So in a competitive rental market, this will help them secure a rental faster and easier, is my feeling. Just give them the more information you provide about yourself, the better, and a rental resume. And especially if you have a pet, there's a pet resume suggestion that we have in there. And, they see your pet, they know who the vet is, they know when you have the shots, they know he's been trained by a professional, whatever information they have about that. It makes it a little bit easier, I think, to secure a rental. Speaking of renters, has anyone heard of Home Partners of America? And you know what? I meant to look into the Ventura market because I'm not sure it's available there. California's, the price point is so high that it makes it difficult to do this. But in Utah, if it's good school district, there's certain things that they're looking for. But if you have a renter and they're not quite qualified, or they don't have the right down payment, or they don't have kind of the right thing yet, or they don't know what area they want to be in, so they would rather rent for a year, you can do a lease with the right to purchase through Home Partners of America. And Home Partners ultimately becomes the buyer of a property, and they secure the tenant in a lease agreement, and you sell Home Partners a home and you get paid. So it's a really great program. I need to make a note that I'll look into the Ventura market. It might not be open right now for Home Partners. But you can just go right onto homepartners.com/C21. You can learn more about it, get the information, get signed up for it. Your clients would have to pay a $70 application fee. So if they have bad credit, they won't qualify for this program. They can have less credit than it takes to purchase. Credit score is what I'm talking about. But if they have really bad credit, they're not going to qualify. So just keep that in mind. It's not for everyone, this program. You're going to be paying you're going to be paying the upper end in rent value. But think about picking your own home in the school district that you want. You can still go see homes and pick the one you want to live in. And it's exciting because you're not just relying on the rental market. You're going out there and finding it yourself, and you guys can still get paid. So it's a really great program.
So Home Partners buys the home, and you put a tenant in there, or they put a tenant in there, whatever. And
yeah, so Home Partners of America, they buy homes and lease them out so let's say someone's moving here with a company and they're a renter and they want to rent for a year before they purchase. And so they probably are a really good candidate. Let's say you kind of take them out and you're looking at things like, none of this works. None of it's in the school district we need our kids to be in. You know, we want to be in this market area. And so you can talk to them about this program. Home Partners of America will actually buy the home and lease it back to them for a year. And they will have a 5-year option to continue renting year over year. It goes up 3% per year. And it will tell you on a particular home what the market rent is for it. So you're going, the client's going into it looking at it like, oh, you know, this would be the rent for this home. Okay. And if they love this home and Home Partners approves it, they would purchase the home and then lease it to these people as tenants for a year. And they have an option to purchase if they want. And all the terms are set out up front. So they know how much they can buy the house for. They know how much the rent's going to be. They know how much the rent's going to go up every year if they decide to keep renting it. And in the
They have a
meantime,
lease option, but Home Partners is willing to be the buyer on it.
yes,
I mean, wow, that's kind of cool.
it's a really interesting program. And so just, again, what this class is about, right, is to like kind of think outside your normal box and just know there's other options out there for some of these people that work. Like I said, they still have to be pretty qualified to use this program, but they can be a little less qualified than it takes to be purchasing, if that makes sense. So yeah, so I would get on, if you're interested in that program, Kelly, I would get on there and look at homepartners.com and just learn more about it. All right. But call me if you have questions, because we've done several of them here in Utah. Okay. Community information. We already covered this. I gave you the example of Texas. I will point out, like, not every state has these in it. The bulk of them do. Like Idaho, I need it to be in Idaho, but they don't have the Idaho one set up. But a lot of the states have it, so it's a really cool tool. All right, business benefits for your clients. We sort of already covered this, so we don't need to cover it again. I've already talked to you about this. So Lowe's is 10% off, Pods 10% off, Budget Truck Rental 20% off. Everything but the house wasn't listed on here. It used to be an affinity benefit, but this, I've had a lot of people ask about estate sale. You know, does anyone have, someone passes away and there's an estate that needs to be sorted through. Everything but the house is a cool organization. They come in and they help sort through the stuff that you don't want and get it marketed for you, and they keep a percentage of the profit that's made as their payment. So I think it's a really good resource to have in your back pocket if you run into someone that has that situation come up. So keep that in mind. And resort vacation certificates, I talked about this, for like $230, you get a 7-night stay at a bunch of different resorts around the world. It's kind of fun. So if you haven't taken a look at it, you might as well dream a little, right? Okay, this is new as of, I think it was March. Everest Moves is what we're calling it. And this is a partnership between Century 21 Everest and Move Easy. And this is available, this is part of this is a service you get whether you've signed up for it or not, okay? So what happens is your client will receive an email. You actually receive an email first. So it says within 48 hours, your client's gonna receive an email from Everest Moves. And so you can choose at that time to stop that email from going out. It says click here if you want it not to go out. So you click there and you stop it. Or you just let it go, and they're gonna get a dedicated concierge for life and a personal dashboard, and that's at no cost to them. Then they're going to get access to moving and home management tasks, a list that they can follow. They're going to get internet and cable services if they want them. They're going to get mover services if they want them. So what happens is a concierge person will reach out to them from Move Easy, and they'll explain who they are, and they'll go through all the services that are available. And it includes utility setup. They'll get it as far as they can go. Like if there's a social security card, number required or something, they will stop there and get with the client and say, you need to call in and this is what you need to do. But because of their relationships, they don't have to sit on hold like we do sometimes, right? Like we have to wait and like it's gonna be 8 minutes, 10 minutes or whatever, and sit there and wait. They just get right into their person at those organizations and they can get that stuff set up for them. So it's kind of a cool, I I think I would love it if I didn't have to call and set up all that stuff myself, and they just take care of it for me. I think it's a great service. These are some of the things they do. All right, so this is kind of the list. This just kind of is a broad list of things they do. So what happens if they request, like they're online under their dashboard and they request, I need a carpet cleaner. It will use you. It'll be branded with your picture, your name, and it will say, "Your Century 21 Everest agent Kelly, suggest these services." Or it'll say, "You don't have any services to suggest, so we will send you some services." So what do? They get on, they look at the Better Business Bureau, they check Angie's List, they check, they go online to look for the best resources available for your client, and then they'll send the information to them. And sometimes, like for the moving services, they will give them up to 3 moving bids for 3 different companies. So I just think it's a great service. I think people can just get online and order their own, but sometimes they want a recommendation and a referral, and then they want someone to come, to go to if there's a problem. And so that's kind of what this service provides. And so if you know about it and you talk to your client about it, it can be truly a great service that you're providing them. And the one thing I've had come up is, the agents didn't get online and do the training, or they didn't, they don't know about it, and their client gets an email and they're like, "What's this?" So just make sure you know about it, and it's going to go out automatically, or you can stop it from going out automatically. We can take care of that for you. So just know that we always set you up for it, because it's a great service for your clients and for you to use, and it brands you. And as long as they use it, for instance, they can be branded with Alexa. All right. So 6 months down the line, if they say, "Hey, Alexa, I need a painter," then it will say, "Your concierge service provider, Kelly with Central Everest, da da da," and it will say your name to them while it talks to them through the process of what's going to happen with the service. So just know that that's why we did it, because we wanted to have an opportunity for you to stay front of mind for these people. Just one more way to kind of keep you in front of them. Okay. And we really truly feel like it's a great service.
And so as far as like, I think from what I've seen on Home Easy, if I want to recommend a painter, I can load someone in there that I know personally. Is that how that works? That is
correct. Yes. If you have vendors that are wonderful, that you truly do recommend, put them in your profile, and that will show up when it's requested. So absolutely.
And when you say you can keep the email from going out automatically, or you can control that in some way, when does it go out automatically?
Good question. That's a great question. So it will go out whenever there's a contract in place. So if you're working on a listing and they need resources to get it ready, you would want to send that out manually yourself. And you can do that from your dashboard. So they have access to it ahead of the contract. The system's very intuitive. So if the email's already been sent an email, they won't get another one. All right. And there's different ways they can use this. So they can get, is that on here? Yeah. So listing goes live or transaction goes under contract. So if it's a buyer, it will go under contract, and then within 48 hours, the client gets an invite from you explaining that this is a service that we offer. And then within 24 hours of that, a concierge gets assigned to the client, and then they will introduce themselves. They will try to call them if they have a phone number, and they will definitely email them if they don't, or in addition to, okay? And then they will kind of do some follow-ups with them. I put myself in, but I was really, really late in the process when I moved fairly recently. And I got probably, 5 different emails throughout a several-week process period. And then I just told them, "Hey, I started this too late," and so they'll just back right off. And I'm told, they do ask about alarm systems. They ask about internet and cable. They ask about your utilities. They ask if you need movers. They go through a process that's probably a good 20 minutes at least, of what they want and what they need, and what they're interested in and what they're not. And, when I was first looking into this program, I was like, are they going to be high pressure cells? What is this like? Is there going to be bugging the clients? And they're not. They just ask the question, if they say no, they move on. And that's the commitment they've given to us. And so these people
So to
can
access that,
Mhm.
I would go to Move Easy, and it then brands it as Everest Moves, or is this Everest Moves a different?
So you'll be
Site.
set up. You should be set up automatically in that in your onboarding. I should probably check out that, make sure that's happening.
Yeah, I've been on Move Easy for sure.
Okay. Good. Yeah. So you should be set up on that. We went through and did the whole company at one point, and then as people are enrolled into the company, and you're uploaded into the systems, you're automatically get a created. So if it's your same login with your 21 online login is what your login is going to be for Move Easy or for Everest Moves. All right. And then there's a dashboard. You can go in and look at who's opened the emails. You can see who's signed up for the service. You can use this as a concierge service, and you can make it part of your program, or you can be like, you know what, I'm really not interested in that. I have my own process. And so we can turn you off. So you have total control over all of it. But automatically this stuff will go out unless you change it. Okay. And it does go out once a contract's in place. It's their listing contract or a pending purchase agreement, but they won't get the same email twice, if that makes sense. All right. Unless you put in a brand new email, then it'll be different. All right. Any questions about that? It's a new thing. It's a big thing. I think we have about 11% so far of like clients that are utilizing the program. And as just starting this process, that's actually considered pretty good. So, but I think we'd get more utilization, and it would be a better benefit if the agents really truly knew about it and were using it as a service that can be offered. So I just want to make sure you knew about it. Any questions about it? Okay. All right, so I usually get to this point and there's like, well, I want some incoming business. How can I join the team, right? So I just like to talk about it. The Relo team agent criteria, you must be 2+ years full-time real estate experience. And to be on the team and remain on the team, you must have 10 or more closings per year of your own business. And you must participate in sending outgoing broker-to-broker referrals and or agent-generated referrals. I need to take USAA off. I forgot that's still there, because that's no longer an option. But that would be like Navy Federal Credit Union, Relogy Military Rewards, and AARP. So if you run into those, then you generate those referrals. And let's say you have a killer year, your realtor of the year, that sort of thing on your first year, those exceptions can be made. But we also, you need to be in good standing with an excellent service track record. So those are your real satisfied surveys, those sorts of things. And you need to be background checked. It's a requirement. It's $85 and it's every 5 years. And then comply with training certificates and requirements. That's $75 per year and a $150 biannual for the corporate business. And not everyone does that. So those are kind of the costs and the expenses. And then there's referral fees and stuff on top of that. But the biggest thing that I tell people when they ask about it is we have to have enough business to add someone to the team, and we also need to have room on the team. So really what we're trying to do for the agents that put in that time, the effort and the energy, and they're doing all these things, we want to make sure we're giving them business, right? So we have to have enough business coming in order to grow the team. There are, if you have to have some closings behind you, but once you have some closings behind you, there are some resources that are like Op City, those sorts of things where we can talk about that. So if you have several deals that have closed and you're interested in that, you can let me know, and we can talk about the possibility of getting you there. But there's always going to be a referral fee up front, and you're going to be on a different split than your normal split, and that is so it's actually an expensive proposition to do relocation business. But why would anyone want to do that? We have really good agents that are on the team, and I would tell you that it's because these agents know how to create business from business, right? So if you're using your listings, you're doing just listed, just sold, and you're calling around those listings and you're getting business off that business, then it makes total sense to do relocation business ultimately at the end of the day. So really that's it. I mean, basically I hope that you have a sense of how big the industry, that real estate's bigger than just buying and selling houses, right? It's bigger. It's a bigger industry. There's a lot more to it. this relocation stuff is really, I've loved it. I fell into it. I started out as a receptionist at Coldwell Banker a long time ago and just kind of grew my way into relocation. It's not something I dreamed of being as a relocation director when I was young, you know. It's kind of like real estate agents, right? Like if you don't have family in the business, you don't necessarily think about it that often. But it's a really fascinating industry, and just I hope today we've been able to create at least a little bit of awareness of what it is and how big it is and the possibilities for you, and that you think outside your local market area as you continue with your business. So I went through that really fast. I appreciate the questions. And if I think I'll send out the outgoing referral packet. I really need to change the name on it. So I'm going to try to do that today. But is there any questions from the group?
Nope. Excuse me. No questions. I just want to say thank you. I appreciate the information.
Oh, thanks, Kat. I know I'd sit here and talk. I feel like I'm talking at you, and I hope that's not how you felt, but thank you.
Me too. Thank you very much. This is Carla Giles.
Hi, Carla. Yeah, so I'm here as a resource for you guys. If something comes up and you're like, that sounds relocation-y, I should call Heather. Just give me a call. I'm available. You can email me. Let me know what questions that come up for you. If you run into a situation where you're like, I wonder if this would be a good affinity program to offer, then call me. Let's just have a conversation about it and let's talk about it, and I'll help you through scripting and things like that. And happy to run through the slides with you on that process. So, just think bigger, think big, guys. All right. I appreciate your time so much. Thank you for taking the time with me, and let me know, down the road if you have questions or need referral placement options.
Great. Thanks, Heather.
Thanks, guys. Bye.